This question involves looking at the topic of arc length and area of a sector. Now specifically for this one, what we're looking at is the length of a sector. Now to answer a question like this, there's a couple of things you need to know. First thing, in order to get the arc length or area of the sector, we need to know the angle in the middle and we need to know the radius. In this question, we know the angle at the centre is 240 degrees and we know our radius is 30 centimetres. So we've got all the information we need right there. We also have to take into account the fact that the question asks for the major arc. Now major arc is the bigger of the two arcs. So we've got one arc that goes all the way around here and one that goes here. Now this little one here is called the minor arc, the bigger is called the major. So we know the angle straight away, we don't have to worry about it. If we were given this angle here and we needed this one, we'd simply do 360 degrees, take away that angle to fill in the gap here. So we know all the information we need to know for the major arc. Next thing we need to remember is the formula. So remember the formula for our arc length is given by theta over 360 times the formula for the circumference of a circle times pi d. Now theta over 360 tells us what fraction of the overall circle we want to include in this, where theta is the angle in the middle. Pi, well we know what pi is, but in this case because it's non-calculator they're telling us to take pi as 3.14 and we know d is twice the radii, so if we've got the radius as being 30, we know then that our d is equal to 60 degrees. What we can then do is plug all the information in here and calculate it through. So we know our arc length in this case is going to be 240 divided by 360 times pi, which we're taking again as 3.14, times the diameter, which in this case we know is 60 centimetres. Once we plug that in, we can start to do the calculations. Once we do all the calculations, so 240 over 360 is the equivalent of 2/3. 2/3 of 60 is 40. We then do 40 times 3.14. Once you calculate all of that, you get 125.6 centimetres. So there's our arc length right there, 125.6 centimetres. Now a couple of key things to remember with this one. First is the formula. It's theta over 360 times pi d. If it was the area of the sector, the pi d would be replaced with pi r squared. So make sure you get the right formula out of the two. We mentioned about getting the right theta, so that's fine. And make sure you use the diameter. Remember, we've been given the radius here, double it to make sure we get the diameter. Final key thing we need to make sure of is the units. It's a length, so it's centimetres. If it was the area of the sector, we'd square it and we'd have square centimetres. Because it's a length, we just stick to centimetres. Now a question like this, 3 marks. Your first mark for knowing what fraction of the overall circle to take, so the 240 over 360. Second mark for substituting the whole thing in together and getting one big calculation. Third mark for the final answer. So there you go, 3 nice easy marks that we should hopefully be able to get that involve area of a sector or arc length of a circle.